Welcome to Ananse Web of Tales. Today we explore the emotional journey of Adepa, a young woman who found true love in Dickson, a man who adored her unconditionally. Their blossoming romance was a beacon of hope and joy, promising a beautiful future together. However, their happiness faced a formidable obstacle: Adepa's auntie, consumed by jealousy and envy. Unable to bear Adepa's happiness, her auntie devised a cruel plan to disrupt their love. Through deceit and manipulation, she attempted to switch Dickson with another man, aiming to shatter Adepa's dreams and thrust her into heartache and confusion. Join us as we unravel this emotional tale of love, betrayal, and resilience. The shocking revelation at the end will leave you astonished and moved. Don't miss this captivating episode. Once upon a time in a small village in Ghana, two sisters, Ama and Ya, lived together. Their parents had passed away, and Ya, the elder sister, took on the responsibility of caring for Ama. Ya's life was dedicated to ensuring her sister had a better future. She did not attend school herself, as she was busy earning money to support Ama's education. Ya took on various labor-intensive jobs. She fetched water, worked in local eateries, and washed clothes for people in the village. Her hard work and sacrifices paid off when Ama completed her education, graduated, and secured a good job in Accra. One day, Ya said to Ama, "My dear sister, I'm so proud of you. Seeing you succeed brings me immense joy. Remember, a tree cannot make a forest." Ama, with tears in her eyes, replied, "Sister Ya, your sacrifices made me who I am. I will never forget what you've done for me." Life took different paths for the two sisters. Ya remained in the village, got married, and had a beautiful daughter named Adepa. Ama, on the other hand, also married in Accra and had a lovely daughter named Abigail. Ama's life in Accra was comfortable, unlike Ya's, who continued to struggle. Ya hoped that Ama would remember her sacrifices and offer financial support. Ama did help, but it wasn't enough to ease Ya's burdens. Yet Ya never complained. She loved her sister deeply and didn't want any misunderstandings to arise between them. When Ya's daughter, Adepa, finished secondary school, Ya found herself in a tough spot. Her husband had passed away a few months after Adepa's graduation, leaving her with no financial support. Ya, who knew the value of education, was determined to help her daughter continue her studies. However, years of hard labor to support her sister Ama's education had taken a toll on her health, making it impossible for her to work and earn money for Adepa's future. Feeling hopeless and burdened by her failing health, Ya decided to ask her sister Ama for help. One evening, with a heavy heart, she spoke to Ama. "Ama, my health is not what it used to be, and I can't work to support Adepa's education. She deserves a chance to continue her studies. Can you help us?" Ama listened with concern and replied, "Sister Ya, it's wonderful that Adepa has completed school. I will come and take her to Accra so she can continue her education at the university." She whispered, "Sister Ya, I owe everything to you. Adepa will have the education she deserves." Ya, with tears of relief, replied, "Ama, remember, the river that forgets its source will surely dry up." Upon hearing what her sister Ama said, Ya was overwhelmed with joy. Tears welled up in her eyes, not out of sadness, but from pure happiness. She said, "Ama, I didn't suffer in vain. Thank you for this blessing." Ama, successful in Accra as a bank manager and owner of a provision store, assured Ya that taking care of Adepa wouldn't be a problem. When Adepa heard she was going to stay with her Auntie Ama and continue her education in Accra, she was thrilled. The news filled her with hope and excitement for the future. 2 weeks later, Ama traveled to the village to pick up Adepa. She promised Ya, "I will take good care of her in Accra. She will have the education she deserves." Ya, confident in her sister's promise, felt at ease about sending her daughter away. Ya, with tears in her eyes, whispered to Ama, "Ama, you are like the river that never forgets its source. May you always flow abundantly." Ama hugged her sister and replied, "Ya, your sacrifices will never be forgotten. Adepa is in good hands." As they arrived in Accra, Adepa was awestruck. The bustling city was like a new world to her, far removed from the simplicity of village life. She saw tall buildings, busy streets, and modern technology for the first time. It felt like stepping into a dream. When Adepa met her cousin Abigail, she felt an instant connection, as if she had found a younger sister to guide her through this new life. Abigail, familiar with the ways of the city, promised to help Adepa adjust and learn. Adepa never wanted to return to the village. Life there was tough, especially after her father's death. They often struggled to get enough food. Her dream was to build a better future and take good care of her mother. In Accra, her Auntie Ama had a maid, so Adepa didn't have to do any difficult tasks. She arrived during the school vacation, and her auntie assured her that she would enroll her in school when it resumed. Adepa was beautiful, respectful, humble, and well-mannered, traits instilled by her mother. In contrast, her cousin Abigail was pampered and did nothing around the house. Even with a maid, Adepa couldn't stay idle in the luxurious house. She always found something to do or helped the maid, as she wasn't used to sitting around. Her auntie's husband, Mr. Opoku, noticed Adepa's hard work and respectful attitude. One evening, as Adepa helped the maid in the kitchen, Mr. Opoku remarked, "Adepa, you are like the early morning dew, refreshing and full of promise." Adepa smiled and replied, "Thank you, uncle. My mother always taught me that hard work and respect open many doors." Mr. Opoku soon realized that Adepa was quite different from his daughter Abigail. Abigail was lazy, disrespectful, and didn't even know how to cook. He wished Abigail would learn from Adepa's example. "Abigail," he often said, "you could learn a lot from Adepa. Her hard work and manners will take her far in life." One day, Mr. Opoku called his wife Ama for a serious conversation about their daughter. He said, "My dear, I think we've pampered Abigail too much. If we don't change this, it will affect her future, especially her marriage. She's lazy and doesn't do anything around the house. Can you please encourage her to learn from Adepa? Adepa is diligent and respectful, quite different from our daughter. Let's train Abigail well for a better future." Ama listened quietly, showing no reaction. However, deep down, she felt hurt and offended. Alone in her room, she thought, "So, my husband thinks I failed to train my daughter properly. He implies I'm lazy and passed this laziness to Abigail. He even seems to love my sister's daughter more than our own. We shall see about that." One day, Ama saw Adepa sweeping the compound with the maid. She exploded with anger, shouting, "Hey, Adepa! What are you doing there? Are you a servant? Did you come here to be a maid or to continue your education? Stop what you're doing and get inside before I give you a dirty slap." This situation reveals the complexities of family dynamics and the impact of unspoken resentments. Mr. Opoku's well-intentioned advice struck a nerve with Ama, leading to misinterpretation and conflict. It's crucial to communicate openly and without judgment to avoid such misunderstandings. Ama's reaction towards Adepa was unfair and misplaced, driven by her own insecurities and hurt feelings. Adepa, shocked and hurt, quietly went inside thinking, "I only wanted to help. Why is Auntie so angry with me?" Mr. Opoku, noticing the commotion, approached Ama later and said, My dear, we need to support each other, not tear each other down. Adepa is here to learn and grow, just like Abigail. Auntie Ama turned to the maid and said sternly, "If I ever see you working with Adepa in this house again, it will be your last day here." Adepa was traumatized by her auntie's harshness, something she had never experienced before. Despite her shock, she approached her auntie and apologized, thinking she had done something wrong. "I'm sorry, auntie. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I promise it won't happen again." But Ama's heart was hardened. She harbored an unexplained hatred for Adepa and refused to forgive her. To her husband, Ama treated Adepa kindly, but when he was away at work, the house turned into a nightmare for the young girl. When school resumed, Adepa reminded her auntie about her education. Ama dismissed her, saying, "There's no money for university fees. It's too expensive." This excuse continued for months, and Adepa started to lose hope. Every day, Ama would send the maid to the store early in the morning, leaving Adepa to do all the house chores. She had to sweep the entire compound, clean the rooms, wipe the chairs, and wash the clothes manually, even though there was a washing machine. Ama would inspect her work and always find fault. "This floor is still dusty. Clean it again," she would say, making Adepa repeat the tasks multiple times. Adepa had become like a maidservant in the house, with Ama showing no intention of sending her to school. It became clear that Ama wanted to mistreat Adepa until she gave up and returned to the village. One evening, Adepa, exhausted and tearful, confided in Mr. Opoku. "Uncle, I don't understand why Auntie is so harsh with me. I only want to study and help my mother." Mr. Opoku, troubled by her words, replied, "Adepa, I will speak with your auntie. You deserve a chance to fulfill your dreams." This situation brings to mind the saying, "A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song." Adepa's song is her dream for a better future, and despite the harshness she faces, her spirit remains strong. One day, Abigail confronted her mother with a question that had been troubling her. "Mother," she began, "when you brought Adepa here, you told me she is my elder sister. We both know Adepa is more intelligent than me, so why is she not in the university while I am? The way you are mistreating her is very bad." Auntie Ama was caught off guard by her daughter's confrontation. To cover her behavior, she decided to defame Adepa. "Yes, I told you she is like a daughter to me and your sister," Ama began. "But recently I visited 3 men of God because of some challenges I was facing, and all of them told me the same thing. They said Adepa is a witch and responsible for my problems." Abigail looked at her mother, disbelief clear in her eyes. "Mother, I don't believe what you're saying. If you truly think Adepa is a witch, then send her back to the village. Keeping her here and mistreating her is wrong." Abigail, determined and firm, continued, "Mother, you taught me to be just and fair. How can you believe such things without proof? Adepa deserves better. She has done nothing but help us." Auntie Ama, feeling cornered, replied, "You don't understand, Abigail. I'm trying to protect this family. Protecting this family doesn't mean harming an innocent person." Abigail retorted, "Send her back if you must. But don't keep her here just to mistreat her." This situation reminds me of the saying, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." Ama's lies about Adepa are hurtful and damaging, but the truth, represented by Abigail's courage, is beginning to emerge. A few days later, Mr. Opoku came home unexpectedly when everyone else was out. His daughter had gone to school, the maid was away, and his wife was at work. He found Adepa alone, doing numerous tasks around the house. She was washing Abigail's clothes, his wife's clothes, and his own. Shocked, he asked her, "Where is the maid?" "Auntie sent her out this morning," Adepa replied. "Do you do these chores every day?" he asked, concerned. "No, today is my first time," Adepa answered, but Mr. Opoku wasn't convinced. That evening, Mr. Opoku confronted his wife about what he had seen. Auntie Ama was speechless, her explanation failing to match Adepa's account. Mr. Opoku realized that Adepa was not being treated well. He also questioned why Adepa was still not in school. Auntie Ama, knowing she was lying, assured him that Adepa would start school soon. Out of guilt, Auntie Ama decided not to make Adepa do difficult house chores anymore. Instead, she sent her to the store to help out and instructed the maid to resume the household tasks. That evening, Mr. Opoku said to his wife, "Ama, we must treat Adepa with respect. She deserves the same opportunities as Abigail." Ama, feeling guilty, nodded and said, "I understand. I'll ensure she's treated better." Adepa felt her auntie had no intention of sending her to school. Despite claiming there was no money for her education, Auntie Ama continued to spend on expensive jewels and cars. Adepa didn't want to return to the village, knowing there was no better future there and that her mother would be deeply disappointed. Her mother had hoped that Ama would support Adepa's education, as she was the only hope left for her family. Every day, Adepa went to the store to sell provisions for her auntie, bringing back significant sums of money because business was booming. People bought the goods wholesale and retail, but despite the money Adepa made for her, Auntie Ama never considered sending her to school. There was a young man named Dickson who bought from Adepa regularly. He was a successful man, and he was struck by Adepa's humility, respect, communication skills, and beauty. One day, Dickson approached Adepa and asked if they could be friends. Initially, Adepa was reluctant, unsure of his intentions. However, after some days, she finally accepted Dickson's request for friendship. Adepa's hard work and dedication to her auntie's business go unrecognized, while her education, a fundamental right, is neglected. The introduction of Dickson adds a hopeful element, suggesting that kindness and respect can attract positive opportunities. This situation reminds me of the saying, "A single sunbeam is enough to drive away many shadows." Dickson's interest in Adepa could be the sunbeam that brings hope to her dark situation, but who knows if Auntie Ama has the power to destroy her destiny? Will Auntie Ama finally send Adepa to the university? Can she create confusion between Adepa and Dickson, or will their bond remain unbroken? Stay tuned for the next episode of this emotional journey. Don't miss the continuation of Adepa's story. Subscribe to Ananse Web of Tales for more inspiring stories filled with moral lessons and rich historical narratives. Share your location in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring these powerful stories to life.